Top 5 breads every diabetics must eat. Lower blood sugar. Most people eat bread every day without a second thought. But what if I told you that the wrong kind of bread isn't just bad for you? It could be silently destroying your metabolism, spiking your blood sugar, and setting you on a dangerous path toward insulin resistance, stubborn belly fat, and even type 2 diabetes? Think about it. Do you ever feel exhausted after a meal? Do you get intense cravings just a few hours after eating? That could be your bread working against you. White bread, packed with refined flour, digests so fast that it floods your bloodstream with sugar, causing a quick high followed by an energy crash that leaves you hungrier than before. And the worst part? Over time, this cycle trains your body to store more fat and struggle with blood sugar control. But here's the truth. Not all bread is bad. In fact, some breads can actually help stabilize your blood sugar and keep you feeling full and energized. Today, I'll share 5 delicious alternatives that won't send your glucose levels skyrocketing. If you love bread but want to stay healthy, keep watching. This could change everything. 1. Whole grain bread. Bread is a staple in most people's diets. It's comforting, convenient, and feels harmless until you start looking at what it does to your blood sugar. If you've been eating white bread for years, you might not realize that it's working against your body, spiking your glucose, leaving you fatigued, and making you crave more sugar. But don't worry, you don't have to give up bread entirely. You just have to be smarter about the kind you choose. Whole grain bread is one of the best alternatives to white bread if you're serious about controlling your blood sugar. Unlike refined grains, which are stripped of fiber, protein, and essential nutrients, whole grains remain intact, meaning your body digests them more slowly. Instead of causing a rapid spike and crash, they allow for a steady release of glucose, keeping energy levels stable and reducing cravings. That means no more mid-morning slumps or sudden hunger pangs that push you toward unhealthy snacks. But what exactly counts as whole grain bread? It's not just whole wheat. Other grains like spelt, rye, millet, and even quinoa, which, fun fact, is actually a seed, are packed with fiber and protein, 2 key players in stabilizing blood sugar. Research shows that people who eat more whole grains have a significantly lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Why? Because fiber slows down digestion and prevents those dangerous glucose surges that can wear down your insulin response over time. Now, here's where things get tricky. The food industry is sneaky. Many brands slap "made with whole grains" on their packaging. But if you check the ingredients, you'll find refined flour, added sugars, and artificial preservatives hiding inside. That's why reading labels is so important. The first ingredient should always be a whole grain, not enriched flour. And if you see things like high fructose corn syrup or chemical additives, put that loaf back on the shelf. Think of it this way. Real, whole grain bread should have simple, recognizable ingredients. Imagine baking bread at home. You'd use whole wheat flour, water, yeast, and maybe some seeds or nuts for extra nutrition. If the ingredient list on a store-bought loaf looks like a science experiment, that's a red flag. But even with whole grain bread, portion control matters. Just because it's healthier doesn't mean you should eat unlimited slices. Pairing it with healthy fats like avocado or protein like eggs can help slow digestion even more and keep blood sugar stable. At the end of the day, choosing the right bread can make a huge difference in your energy levels, cravings, and long-term health. But if you're looking for options that go beyond whole grains, something even lower in carbs and packed with even more benefits, stick around. The best is yet to come. 2. Sprouted bread. If you're looking for a bread that won't send your blood sugar skyrocketing, sprouted bread might just be the game changer you need. Unlike regular bread, whether white or even whole grain, sprouted bread goes through a fascinating transformation before it ever reaches your plate. Here's what makes it different. Instead of using dry, ground-up grains to make flour, sprouted bread starts with whole grains, legumes, or seeds that are soaked in water until they begin to sprout. This natural sprouting process breaks down some of the starch while preserving the fiber and protein, 2 powerful nutrients that help slow down sugar absorption and keep your blood sugar steady. That means instead of causing a quick spike and crash, Sprouted bread allows for a more gradual release of glucose into your bloodstream. Studies show that sprouted grains have a lower glycemic index than both white and whole grain bread. This makes them an excellent choice for anyone trying to avoid blood sugar spikes, especially those managing diabetes or insulin resistance. In fact, research suggests that sprouted grains can improve glycemic response even more effectively than regular whole grains, making them one of the best options available. And the benefits don't stop at blood sugar control. The sprouting process also unlocks more nutrients like B vitamins, which help support metabolism and energy production. Ever feel sluggish after eating regular bread? That's because refined carbs drain your energy. But sprouted bread? It actually gives you a boost instead of a crash. Plus, since it's made from a mix of grains and legumes, like wheat, barley, millet, lentils, and soy, it naturally provides a complete source of protein, something that's rare in plant-based foods. That extra protein further helps stabilize blood sugar and keeps you full longer, preventing those mid-morning hunger pangs that make you reach for unhealthy snacks. But here's the catch. Just because a bread says sprouted on the label doesn't mean it's the best choice. Some brands sneak in refined flour, added sugars, or preservatives that cancel out the benefits. That's why you must read the ingredient list carefully. The first ingredient should always be whole sprouted grains, not refined flour or enriched wheat. If you see high fructose corn syrup or artificial additives, it's time to put that loaf back on the shelf. So why haven't more people switched to sprouted bread? Part of the reason is habit, and we're used to grabbing the same bread we've always eaten without thinking twice. But once you make the switch, the difference is undeniable. Not only does it help stabilize blood sugar, but it also supports better digestion, provides essential nutrients, and helps you stay full and energized throughout the day. If you haven't tried it yet, it's absolutely worth adding to your diet. But if you're still looking for even better options, something that takes blood sugar control to the next level, stick around, because the next bread alternative might just surprise you. 3. Sourdough bread. If you think all bread is bad for blood sugar, sourdough might just surprise you. At first glance, it seems like an unlikely choice, especially since it's often made with white flour. But here's where things get interesting. Sourdough isn't just any bread. It's made through a unique fermentation process that changes the way your body digests it, and that process makes all the difference. Unlike regular bread, which is made with commercial yeast that rapidly ferments the dough, sourdough is created using wild yeast and lactic acid bacteria. These natural microbes slowly break down the carbohydrates in the flour before you even take a bite. As a result, the structure of the carb molecules changes, making them easier to digest and significantly reducing their impact on blood sugar. Studies have shown that sourdough bread has a lower glycemic index than both traditional white and whole wheat bread. That means instead of causing a sudden blood sugar spike, it leads to a slower, more controlled release of glucose, helping you avoid those dreaded energy crashes and cravings. But here's the kicker. There's an even better version of sourdough for blood sugar control: sprouted grain sourdough. When you combine the power of fermentation with the fiber and protein-rich benefits of sprouted grains, you get a bread that's easier to digest, more nutritious, and even better at keeping blood sugar stable. Sprouted grain sourdough has an even lower glycemic response than regular sourdough, making it one of the top choices for anyone serious about managing their glucose levels. And the benefits don't stop there. The natural fermentation process in sourdough also creates probiotics, the gut-friendly bacteria that support digestion and overall health. A healthy gut isn't just good for digestion, it's also closely linked to blood sugar regulation, immune function, and even mental well-being. So by choosing traditional, naturally fermented sourdough, you're not just protecting your blood sugar, you're supporting your entire body. But not all sourdough bread is created equal. Many store-bought versions cut corners by using commercial yeast instead of traditional fermentation. And some even sneak in added sugar, preservatives, and refined flour, completely defeating the purpose. The key to finding the right sourdough is checking the ingredients. The best sourdough contains only flour, water, salt, and a natural starter. No unnecessary additives. If you can find one made with whole or sprouted grains, even better. So if you love bread but hate what it does to your blood sugar, sourdough, especially sprouted grain sourdough, might just be your new best friend. But don't go anywhere yet, because if you're looking for an even lower carb option, the next alternative takes blood sugar control to a whole new level. If you're finding this helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more easy blood sugar-friendly tips. And if you have any questions or need advice, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you and help in any way I can. 4. Organic bread. If you see the word organic on a loaf of bread, you might assume it's automatically a healthy choice for blood sugar control. But here's the truth. Organic doesn't always mean better when it comes to managing glucose levels. It just means the ingredients were grown without synthetic pesticides, fertilizers, or GMOs. That's great for reducing chemical exposure and supporting sustainable farming, but it doesn't tell you anything about how that bread will affect your blood sugar. The real factor you need to watch out for? The type of flour used. Organic white bread, for example, is still made from refined flour that has been stripped of fiber, meaning it digests just as quickly as regular white bread and causes the same sharp blood sugar spikes. So, if you've been choosing organic white bread thinking it's a healthier option, it might be time to rethink that choice. But don't get me wrong. Organic bread can be a good choice, as long as you pick the right kind. Organic whole wheat, organic sourdough, or organic sprouted grain bread are far better options. These types of bread still offer the fiber, protein, and slower digestion that help keep blood sugar stable. Organic sprouted grain bread, in particular, takes things to another level by combining the benefits of fiber-rich whole grains with the easier digestion of sprouted seeds. And if you choose organic sourdough made with whole grains, you get the blood sugar-friendly benefits of fermentation without any unwanted chemicals. But here's the tricky part. Food companies love to mislead consumers. Just because a package says made with organic whole grains doesn't mean it's actually healthy. Many of these breads still contain refined flour, added sugars, or preservatives that can work against your blood sugar goals. That's why reading the ingredient list is so important. The best organic bread will have a short, simple list of whole ingredients. No refined flour, no artificial preservatives, and definitely no hidden sugars like high fructose corn syrup. At the end of the day, organic is only part of the equation. If you want the best possible bread for blood sugar control, you need to go beyond the label and focus on what's inside. And if you're looking for an option that completely changes the game, don't go anywhere. Because the next bread alternative we're about to talk about takes blood sugar control to the next level, and it might just become your new favorite. 5. Gluten-Free Bread. Gluten-free bread has exploded in popularity, and many people assume it's a healthier choice, especially when trying to manage blood sugar. But here's where things get tricky. Gluten-free doesn't automatically mean good for you. In fact, in many cases, it can be just as bad, if not worse, than regular white bread when it comes to blood sugar spikes. The problem is that most gluten-free breads rely on refined starches like white rice flour, potato starch, and tapioca starch to replace wheat. And guess what? These starches digest super fast, turning into sugar almost instantly, sending your blood sugar on a roller coaster ride. Without fiber or protein to slow things down, your body processes these ingredients just like it would process white bread, causing the exact spikes and crashes you're trying to avoid. So does that mean all gluten-free bread is bad? Not at all. You just have to know what to look for. The key is choosing gluten-free breads made from nutrient-dense, fiber-rich alternatives like almond flour, coconut flour, or flaxseed. These ingredients not only have a lower glycemic impact, but also provide healthy fats and protein that help stabilize blood sugar. Some of the best options include bread made with chickpea flour, buckwheat, or quinoa, all of which are naturally lower on the glycemic index and packed with beneficial nutrients. But here's the catch. Just like with organic and whole grain breads, not all gluten-free breads are created equal. Some brands sneak in added sugars, high-carb fillers, or preservatives to improve texture and taste, which completely defeats the purpose of choosing a better bread. That's why reading labels is so important. A good rule of thumb is to look for bread with at least 3 to 4 grams of fiber per slice and minimal added sugar. The fewer ingredients, the better. Managing diabetes isn't about being perfect. It's about making small, smart choices every day. Whether it's eating better, staying active, or checking in with your doctor, every step counts. If you've made these mistakes before, don't stress. Now you know how to fix them. For more tips on managing diabetes through food, check out our other videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that can make a real difference in your health.